What can you take lessons-wise from Fulham into Sheffield United? Because obviously they're kind of in the same place in the table.
Well, I didn't think we played particularly well against Fulham, but I think that's got a lot to do with Fulham and maybe similar with Sheffield United, their fight for points. I was in that situation last season where every game becomes you're desperate for the points to continue to give you hope. So I think we did play well on the night. There might have been a few factors involved in that, but overall, we'll go into the game. We've been in good form. We only need to look back at our recent games against Aston Villa, for example, where we thought we played well. And in truth, our form since the start of 2021 has been excellent. So if we can stay on that level, Rebecca, I'll be more than happy.
And West Ham have scored 12 goals from corners and indirect free kicks, more than any other Premier League side this season. Is that a stat you look at and you work more on in training?
No, I don't really work too much on it at all. It's I think it comes from a little bit of having good deliverers, having people who want to really stick their head on the ball. So yeah, I'm the same as every team. We try to score. We're going to try and score from every opportunity we get. But I don't think we go over the top and work continuously on set pieces. Far from it.
And Jesse Lingard, he's been with you for 2 weeks now and obviously scored 2 goals on his debut. How's he been settling in?
I think Jesse settled in very well, especially in his first game to score 2 at Villa. We didn't have a great team performance against Fulham, which he was involved in as well. But he'll have had a little bit of rest and a chance to recover because he hasn't had many minutes as far as starting games goes. So he's had a little bit of room to get a week's recovery really between these games. So we'll have Jesse back in around the squad, which will give us a boost.
Thanks, Rebecca. Phil? Cheers. Go, Harry.
Hi, Phil.
Thank you. Hi, David. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time. There's just 6 points, I think, from yourselves in the table and second spot. I think 13 games there, a bit more to go. 14 games. Is there a real sense amongst your group that you are in the thick of it now for real proper challenges this year to really do something?
Yeah, I've been using the word for a few weeks now. Can we hang on in there, Phil? And I think I've still got that. I think that if we could be in this position we're all getting into when we get down to single figure games, then I think you start looking a bit closer and thinking, hey, wait a minute here, no, we take game by game. You take game by game anyway, but I think you've also got a vision to see where you could be. We're in the period of the tough run of games again, which we had at the start of the season, which we turned out to have was fruitful for us, and we got some really good results and points. So if we could come out of this period with a similar points total as what we had, I think we'd be in a really good position. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, but we're going to have to work hard. The games are difficult, and I think people are maybe just getting a wee bit more aware of West Ham than maybe even they were right at the start of the season.
Yeah, you're on the radar now rather than below it. Sheffield United, I mean, their start to the season was poor. I mean, obviously they weren't happy about it, but they've picked up. I think the cup has helped them, hasn't it? Are they in a different place now from the team that you played up at Bramall Lane? Sort of in the order?
Well, I believe they'll have taken confidence in the results at Old Trafford, and they went to Man City and played very well and were a bit unlucky to lose by a goal. They're a side which don't concede too many goals. They're always in and around the game. They've got a run in the cup going at the moment as well. So I think they were always a difficult challenge, but I think at this present time they're a more difficult challenge because they know that every game they lose now will make it incredibly difficult for them. But every one they pick up will give them more hope. So we've got to do a job. We've done a job recently against similar teams, and we have to make sure we do a professional job and pick up 3 points.
And just a different tack, I'm always quite fascinated with what happens on the side of the pitch, actually, David. So the relationship that you have as the manager, head coach, with your coaching staff, when you're looking at things that are happening in game, how important is that relationship when it comes to making in-game decisions?
It's really important nowadays because there is so many different decisions to be made, and I sit Alan in the stand who gives me feedback from the stand, what he's seen from a bit higher up, which when you're at touchline level, Phil, it's sometimes really difficult to sometimes get the distances on the length of the pitch and exactly a lot of things like that. But then I've got people around me who are feeding me back incidents through the camera. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? So we're continually trying to work as a team to try and get the best outcomes and have the best solutions. But I think a lot of it, Phil, I try to keep myself. It might not look at emotionally at a decent level where I don't get too wound up with anything. It might not look it, but so that you can take things quite calmly. But unfortunately, I've got good people around me who are helping me make things a lot easier.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Simon Stone.
Hi, David. Just going back to Diop. What is the process? What was the process in terms of when he came off the field on Tuesday, and then he comes off? What happens back at the training ground to decide that he can train again and then he can play?
Well, the first thing I'd say, Simon, is I'm not the medical man, so I couldn't tell you all those answers. But I can only tell you that they come back, they assess them, they have to go through the tests which are medically testing, and he's come through all the tests fine. And but I thought the medical team, it was a tough decision for the medical team because we were short of players, and they thought it was the right thing to do at the time. But he had a bump in his head, which was a bit of an egg in his head. But nothing changed. And interestingly, Martial played on, and we took Issa Diop off in the game. So from that point of view, we felt as if we carried out and done the things which were correct for our player.
I mean, can you understand it? I don't think anybody is suggesting that West Ham and your medical staff did anything that wasn't in line with the protocols. But can you understand why some people are saying this has to be taken seriously? You can't allow players just to carry on because you don't know what damage is done, not you personally or your team, but people in general can't know what concussion symptoms are shown days afterwards.
Well, again, I'm not the medical man here, Simon, but what I would say is our medical team chose to take a decision and take him off at half-time. He didn't have concussion, and he doesn't have concussion. And also the tests and what these people go through to prove that have all come back clear. So it was a big decision they took. And I'm sure not every head knock we have should lead to concussion or should lead to a big discussion about it. I think it's maybe because it's a little bit in fashion, Simon, that everybody's bringing it to their attention. But by what I've seen, the medical team have handled it all completely very good.
Thanks, Simon. Cameras off. Tom, do you want to start the Sundays for us, and then we'll do dailies after that? Thank you.
No problem.